evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our information evening for Newman Catholic College. We are privileged to have so many of you here tonight to share in the exciting journey that will be the creation, establishment and living of Newman Catholic College, which is opening in 2022. For those whom I've not yet met, my name is Andrea and it's my privilege to work for Catholic Education Services in Cairns. A very exciting part of my role is the oversight of the creation of Newman Catholic College. So I'm able to work with a very large and varied group of people, all focused on ensuring that Newman Catholic College will be ready to welcome its first cohort of students in January 2022. With me tonight are various colleagues from the Catholic Education Services Cairns, and I'd like to extend a very special welcome to Father Newman, who's the parish priest here of the Northern Beaches, and who also plays a very special role within Catholic Education Services around our schools and education in general. I'd also like to extend a special welcome to our Deputy Executive Director, Mr. Ian Davis. Tonight is the second of our information evenings, with a series of information sessions to be held between now and the beginning of the 2022 school year. Before we begin, it's important that we outline a few safety rules due to the wonderful gift that COVID has brought us. So please bear with me. And it is very strange talking to a group of people who are so spread out and socially isolated from each other. But if I could ask you to please just observe all the regular safety requirements. We've got hand sanitizer, social distancing if that's appropriate, and just keep that information in mind. So as we begin our information session this evening, I'd like to invite Sarah Hamilton, the principal here at Holy Cross, to acknowledge country.
Our school was once beautiful forest country with pristine waterways near the sea. The Irukandji and Jabberkai people have cared for this area for thousands of years since the dreaming. Their traditional languages, customs, stories, songlines and dances are interconnected with the land on which we stand. We thank the traditional custodians for sharing their ways of living with the land in this place we now call Holy Cross School. We pay our respects to the elders past and present who empower today's emerging generation. We promise to be stewards of this land. We will look after the plants and animals. We will take care of all the people who learn, play, work and pray here, and create an environment of understanding, welcoming and belonging for all.
Thank you, Sarah. I'd like to take a minute to reflect in prayer. Our new college is named after St. John Henry Newman, not, as some of the popular myths around, Campbell Newman. So I'll clarify. We're not named after Campbell Newman, we're named after St. John Henry Newman, one of our newest Catholic saints. John Henry Newman was an English theologian and a poet, first an Anglican priest, and later a Catholic priest and cardinal. He was canonised as a saint in the Catholic Church in 2019. Newman emphasised the importance of education, of virtue, of service, and of justice. And it is apt that our college is named after him, for he was a champion of education and a particular supporter of the need for intellectual freedom at the university level. While our college is named after St. John Henry Newman, it will also be closely aligned with St. Francis and St. Clare of Assisi, adopting what is known as a Franciscan charism, or a way of being. So it's fitting that we begin this evening with a reflection often attributed to St. Francis. And so we pray. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born again to eternal life. So our story so far. The original approval for Newman Catholic College was given by the Non-State School Authority or Accreditation Board in early 2019. And since then, Newman Catholic College has been named, its Franciscan charism established, a strong partnership forged with James Cook University, and a crest, motto and school colours selected. A joint James Cook University and Catholic Education Cairns educational task group has been formed, its main focus being to establish ways of working, ways in which James Cook University and Cairns Catholic Education can work together to promote education in far north Queensland. We've had a rigorous range of meetings, consultations and task forces, all working to ensure the development of a new college, which not only meets the educational needs of students within the area, but also provides innovative, connected opportunities for all students within Catholic secondary colleges within the Cairns diocese. Queensland Government ministerial approval has been given, funding has been approved, pre-building works have been tendered and approved, and I believe will start next week. We are in negotiations to secure a temporary school office, and that will be at the Smithfield Shopping Centre. So if any of you are interested in attending or putting applications in for Newman Catholic College, that's where enrolment interviews will be held. It's anticipated that construction will begin early in the new year. A foundation principal has been appointed. It was made public as of 4 o'clock this afternoon. And so I am very happy to announce that Mrs. Loretta Graham has been appointed as the Principal of Newman Catholic College. Loretta is no stranger to Cairns. She was the Foundation Principal of St Andrew's Catholic College at Redlinch, laying the foundations which have seen St Andrew's established as an outstanding Catholic college. Loretta then moved to the Northern Territory, taking up the position as Foundation Principal at MacKillop Catholic College in Palmerston. Once again, she worked her magic, and now, almost 10 years later, MacKillop College enjoys an outstanding reputation in the Northern Territory educational community. Loretta's passion and gift vie in establishing schools, so we are truly blessed to be welcoming Loretta to Newman Catholic College. Loretta will commence early in February next year and will work closely with a variety of committees and working parties to cover what I call the nuts and the bolts: the enrolments, the educational programs, staffing, uniforms, school processes and procedures, the recruitment of staff, and the myriad of other things necessary in the establishment of a new school. Enrolments are open and interest in our new college is high. I'd like to share with you our introductory video. It is the video that is featured on the Newman Catholic College website. It's designed to give you a taste of what lies ahead, so please enjoy.
Newman Catholic College will be the Cairns Diocese's 30th school. This unique new secondary college in Cairns is under construction and will welcome its first intake of Year 7 students in 2022. Co-located on the grounds of James Cook University, 10 minutes north of Cairns, it will be the newest secondary college in the far north Queensland region and the first Catholic school in Australia to be located within a university precinct.
So our new Catholic college is named for St. John Henry Newman, the Catholic Church's newest saint. Newman Catholic College will join our system of 29 other Catholic schools in the Diocese of Cairns. As such, the vision and values of Catholic education will underpin all that we do, building on the fine traditions of Catholic education that already exist in our diocese. Our students will be young, enthusiastic members of Generation Alpha, students born from 2010 onwards. Newman Catholic College foundation students will experience a different world to the one in which many of us grew up. So therefore, Newman Catholic College will have to be different in terms of how it prepares students to enter into that world. And therefore the level of innovation and the focus on project-based learning and the creativity of students and bringing that together to prepare them for a future which is largely unknown is going to be the important focus of Newman Catholic College.
Newman Catholic College sits on the most visible face of James Cook University campus. Due to its co-location, we have the benefit of being able to work very closely with James Cook University, and the benefits for our students are numerous. James Cook University has impressive world-class facilities, things such as an innovative resource centre, the Innovation Centre, science and health science facilities. So our students will be able to be involved with faculties such as dentistry, science, creative arts, business, and our students will have the ability to participate in classes in world-class university facilities. Curriculum at Newman Catholic College will centre around a digital, design and inquiry-based focus. This curriculum will be complemented by facilities which we are calling co-laboratories. These are flexible, multi-dimensional spaces with an emphasis on collaboration, but more importantly, they are facilities that can be easily changed and manipulated to meet the needs of the curriculum and the various learning styles of our students. So in particular, in the middle years, our students will be living and learning and working in spaces that allow quick adaptation to different teaching and learning styles, which is so important when you're meeting the different learning needs of students, particularly in the middle years. Senior school learning programs will seek to provide multiple pathways for students. Newman Catholic College is not designed as an exclusive academic school only. It will not seek to reproduce options available at other Catholic colleges, such as trade training centres, but will focus on options not currently available. For example, aviatronics, aviation and drone technology, and blurring the boundaries between traditional secondary and tertiary pathways. All this will be achieved by creating high-quality, complementary education and training opportunities through student placements, internships and research opportunities for James Cook University academics and students at all disciplinary levels. Possibilities for staff interchange to foster mutual mentoring opportunities are under discussion. What we are endeavouring to do is to establish a partnership from which students of all of our Catholic schools may be able to participate. For example, the discussion around beginning tertiary studies earlier will be open to all students in all schools. But obviously, because of our co-location, Newman Catholic College has the benefit of being on-site with easy access to facilities and teaching staff. This is a two-way street. It's not just Newman Catholic College benefiting from its co-location with James Cook University, but it's also James Cook University benefiting by its co-location with Newman Catholic College. It's a two-way partnership, and a partnership we're very excited about.
Newman Catholic College's design provides for state-of-the-art facilities delivered over a 4-stage master planned build. The college will reach Year 12 in 2027 and current interest indicates that target total enrolments of 750 students when the college is complete will be easily achieved.
I'd also like to share with you a few visuals, some architectural designs to give you a taste of what Newman will look like. Newman Catholic College will be a vertical school, built over a number of stages. So it will be going up rather than out, which is what would normally happen in a traditional school. These two slides show you the outside, a very basic rendition of what it will look like. And the following two are snapshots of current facilities in some of our Catholic colleges and also facilities across other colleges throughout Australia. So this is the sort of design focus that we are achieving at Newman Catholic College. You will have noticed that we have a crest, a motto and school colours. And I'd like to talk to you or talk with you a little about those. So the Newman Catholic College crest is simple, yet symbolic, and full of meaning. It reflects the college patron in the name of the college, its Franciscan charism in the inclusion of the Franciscan cross, or the tau, its co-location on the site of James Cook University in the shape of a shield, which reflects the shape of the crest of James Cook University, and the blue colour. It's a modern design to reflect a unique and innovative college. The colours that have been chosen for Newman Catholic College are red, gold and blue. The colours of St John Henry Newman's personal coat of arms were red and gold. The same gold and a vibrant blue are featured in the James Cook University crest. The blue also symbolises the colour of the sea and the sky, two very distinct elements of life in far north Queensland. It's the colour of water, the giver of life, the water of baptism. And finally, the motto. We've decided to adopt John Henry Newman's motto, which was "Heart speaks to heart." At its simplest level, "Heart speaks to heart" is a phrase that invites us to take time to be with God in prayer. It also emphasises that we speak to people's hearts through our everyday actions. I'm often asked what will make Newman Catholic College so different, and there are a number of things. Newman Catholic College will be a Catholic school, joining a system of 29 other Catholic schools in the Cairns diocese, building on the values of Catholic education that underpin all that we do, and building on the fine traditions of Catholic education that already exist here in our Diocese of Cairns. Our students will be different. They'll be young, enthusiastic members of Generation Alpha, students born from 2009 to 2010 onwards. I had to add in 2009, and I'll just tell this little story, because at the information night on Tuesday night in Mosman, one young girl came up to me afterwards and said, "You said it was for students from 2010 onwards. I was born in 2009. Does that mean that I can't come to Newman Catholic College?" So I've changed it, 2009, 2010, because she will be in the Year 7 class in 2022. So Newman Catholic College will experience, foundation students will experience a different world to the one in which you, or many of us, grew up in. Generation Alpha young people are global, digital, social, mobile and visual learners, used to multimodal ways of living and learning. What we teach in our school and how we teach it has to be different. As the video indicated, Newman Catholic College sits on the most visible public edge of the campus of James Cook University. It'll be the first Catholic college co-located on a university site, and we believe that the opportunities for interaction are endless. The college will work collaboratively with the university, with learning and teaching enhanced at all year levels, but particularly in the senior phase of learning. As we outlined in the video, the facilities at James Cook University are world-class, and we will have access to those wonderful educational facilities. The professional working relationship established with James Cook University could see tertiary courses commencing in Year 11 and 12, the mentoring and tutoring of our students by James Cook University undergraduate students, and continually evolving opportunities for collaboration and support. We're currently working very closely with the university to develop programs and partnerships which benefit students at all year levels, from Year 7 through to Year 12, and students at all of our Catholic colleges. While this co-location is a tremendous benefit, I would imagine that from your point of view as parents, there may be some concerns from a child's safety and student protection point of view, and we are very much aware of that. So let me assure you that this is always foremost in our minds. Our younger students will not be placed in any situation where their safety will be compromised. The college will have its own sporting and gym facilities, change rooms and toilets, and these will not be shared facilities. James Cook University students and staff coming into the college will be subject to all our regular risk management and student protection requirements, such as signing in blue cards, etc. Our Year 11 students will be the ones more likely to be sharing James Cook University facilities on a regular basis. Facilities such as the library and the Innovation Centre, but as always, strict protocols will be followed. Universities also have extended holiday and recess periods, which will provide ideal opportunities for our students who will be there on site to use their world-class facilities, and we are very excited about that. As I said, our educational focus will be different. We will, of course, teach the full range of the Australian curriculum, as we're legally required to do so. But how we teach it and what we focus on will be different. I keep using the word innovative, but that's what it will be. We will focus on innovative curriculum delivered in innovative ways, enhanced by innovative and flexible learning spaces. Hence our focus on design laboratories and flexible learning spaces. A question was asked, if you're focusing on all this innovation, what about the basics of literacy and numeracy and religion? And our response is, of course, we will focus on those as well. They are the foundational skills, and we will continue to build on those foundational skills. Curriculum in Years 7, 8 and 9 at Newman College will focus on design and inquiry-based learning. These learning programs will be complemented by our specialist learning laboratories and collaborative spaces. Everything is aimed to facilitate easy and quick adaptation to different teaching and learning styles to suit our middle year students who are at varying stages of development. Our rooms will be flexible and responsive to the needs of students, the curriculum and ways of teaching. Our approach to teaching will be different. Across the globe, there's growing consensus that education demands radical transformation if we want students to become future ready. The why, the what and the how of teaching has to change. What we saw 150 or even 20 years ago is no longer good enough. I'd like to emphasise again that Newman Catholic College will not be an exclusive school. It will cater for all students, regardless of academic ability or diverse learning needs. It will be open to students of all backgrounds, of all faith traditions, and all who reflect our values and wish to be part of the Newman Catholic College journey. Its aim is to provide a quality Catholic education that meets the diverse needs, interests and aspirations of Generation Alpha students. Our emphasis on education will run parallel with our emphasis on well-being. For students to achieve in their learning, they firstly need to feel safe, secure, nurtured and valued. They need to know that their school is safe, but they also need to know that it's a challenging environment where they feel ready to learn and equipped to meet the challenges ahead and to take risks and to try and extend themselves. A comprehensive approach to student and staff wellbeing will be intertwined with our learning and teaching programs. So to give you a taste of what learning might look like at Newman Catholic College, I'd like to introduce you to Wilbur Donovan. Wilbur is a consultant with our secondary school effectiveness team with a particular interest and expertise in the areas of digital, design and inquiry-based learning. Now I want you to imagine that Wilbur is a typical year 7 or 8 or 9 student. I did actually suggest he dress up as a student, but for some reason he didn't want to do that. So Wilbur is a student in year 7 or 8. It's a few months into the school year, and Wilbur's going to share with you what a typical day of learning might look like for him.
Thanks, Andrea. Good evening, everyone. My name is Wilbur Donovan, and as Andrea said, I'm a consultant for learning and teaching at Cairns Catholic Education Services. So today I wanted to share with you what innovative learning could look like, right? And there were a few ways we thought about doing this. We thought about maybe should we just show you pictures, or should we come and bring you research? But we've decided with acting out a bit of a scene, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to imagine. Imagine I'm a grade 9 student. It's term 3, week 4 in a normal school year, and I'm going to Newman Catholic College. Now, one of the things that I have to study is science in grade 9, right? And this year in science, we're learning about the cell. Now, I want you to imagine that I'm not very good at science, so I'm a very poor science student. I think it's all the technical words, I just don't get it, I don't remember it, and I don't like this inquiry way of learning technical stuff like that, right? So what I do is I go to my teacher and I let them know that I'm struggling with the concept. I go to class this week in science and my teacher sends me down with a teacher aide down to our digital lab. And they throw me on this VR platform and they run this app for me. And in this app, I get to explore a lot of the components of the cell in 3D visual space, right? So I spend the lesson in my VR world. I can interact with all the components of the cell. I can still read text, listen to sound, watch videos and animations in that 3D world. Now, at the end of the lesson, I still don't remember all the technical words, but now I have a much better understanding of what actually happens inside the cell. And maybe for another lesson, my teacher sends off like a cheek swab to JCU, and I can actually have a look at one of my own cells using some of their specialized microscopes and that sort of thing. Now that's science. Now imagine that although I was a poor student in science, I'm really good at design. So I'm your standard A student. Last year I've got an A. Everyone thinks I'm pretty great at design. I think so myself as well. So, but I'm also average, not bad, but I'm average at maths, right? And my design teacher's sitting next to my maths teacher one day, and they get to talking, and in year 9 maths, I have to cover measurement and geometry. And in design, I have to cover the innovative use of technologies. So they talk and they realize that there's a lot of crossover. Maybe my design skills can also help me learn in maths. Right? So what they do is they let me come up with a project that covers both subject areas. I still have to study the content, I still have to go to and sit maths final exams, but now I'm getting to do a lot of the learning in a context that I really enjoy learning through. Okay, so maybe one of the JCU 4th year engineering students, they're entering a bit of a competition, and the competition is to build a solar powered car. Okay? And I'm interested in that sort of stuff, but I'm in year 9, so I don't have the technical skills. So instead of building a full car, I decide that I'm going to build a smaller version, so a working prototype, still solar powered. So I'm spending most of my lesson time inside the design wing at Newman Catholic College, and this is the real life plans for Newman Catholic College. So I'm going to explain to you some of the things that I'll be doing. So first of all, I'll head off to our textile labs. And in our textile labs, I'll be experimenting with fabrics that can conduct electricity. That's because I want my prototype to weigh much less than traditional solar tiles that have a significant bit of weight. Then I'll move from my textile labs to our electronics lab. And in the electronics lab, I'm doing a lot of prototyping with breadboards, playing around with electronics, working with motors and resistors and wires and circuitry, and getting all that type of stuff done. I then head over to our digital and fab lab. Now the digital lab is kind of a computer lab, but the computers are super powered, right? My little school laptop, it can't handle the kind of workload that those computers can do. So I head in there and I'm designing in 3D space a lot of the componentry that will be used. And in the fab lab is where we keep 3D printers, the laser cutters, vacuum formers, all that type of good toys. So in the digital lab and the fab lab, I can imagine the vision for something I want, I can design it, and then I can bring it to life. I then head off from the digital lab to the Makers Lab. And in the Makers Lab, I can put everything together. I can combine it. It's state-of-the-art with its set of tools and equipment and that sort of thing. So I built my car. So those are just some of the labs. There's a few others. But in the middle, there's a lot of breakout spaces. There's project rooms that I can book and work with my team. Or if I'm working one-on-one with a tutor, something like that. Right? So I spend my design maths lessons working on that project. Now, in English in grade 9, I have to spend a lot of my time learning about different texts, right? And how and why they differ. So for example, there's a difference between a reflective essay and a persuasive essay. And that's what we're learning. So I walk across, I take that long 30-second walk across to JCU's brand new $30 million Ideas Lab. And in that $30 million Ideas Lab, there's significant, engineering equipment and design equipment, all of which I have access to. There's significant lecturers and professors and experts in those subject areas. But what I'm actually going to do is, in that Ideas Lab, there's a massive wing full of startups, right? So some of the most innovative people in the region, some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the region, they've moved their company here into JCU, and that's so they can take advantage of their facilities. So what I do is I go and I speak to one of the startup founders, and he explains to me that writing a grant application is just a type of persuasive text. Right? And then in another lesson in the week, he comes back and he teaches us how to present, how to give a design pitch or something like that. So that's our English. We then move to humanities, and in humanities, we're learning to identify and analyze the perspectives of people in the past. Now, what my teacher does is she calls on one of the JCU archaeologists who's working in there, and he or she zooms in, and they give us a bit of a detail about their research area. They're experts in this place that was called Siam, which is now Thailand, and they explain to us about how people lived in those days in that region. Some of the things that they explain to us hasn't even been published in papers or books yet, so this is some of the most current knowledge available. So then I head into art. And in art, I have to analyze a range of artwork from contemporary and past times to explore different viewpoints. And maybe my teachers brought in a local artist, and the local artist has run workshops with us on how to create our own design patterns. And after that, in another lesson, we head off to our virtual reality lab, which is part of our design lab. And we explore creating 3D sculptures and 3D art and 3D worlds and that type of thing. Right, so we're having fun in art. Now, in religion this week, our teacher's been encouraging us to ask the toughest questions that we can possibly think of. Right, so we're encouraged to ask the teacher questions. We can debate with the teacher. They encourage us to question everything that they're saying. And that's what we do in religion. Now in HPE, we have to provide and apply feedback to develop and refine a range of specialized skills. And what we'd have to do in the past is sit there, act out, or perform in front of our teacher, and then our teacher will come on to us one by one and correct some of our techniques and things like that. But here now, we're doing a lot of filming, and I'm doing my drone license as part of school. So my teacher allows me to throw up a school drone where I get to video record some of the techniques going on, and later on we go back through the video and we're able to reflect for ourselves, and our peers can reflect with us, and then we can get the teacher to also check it out, and we get more personalized feedback that way. The teacher's not trying to watch, 30 people all at once, and that's what we do for one of our lessons. And we can also compare videos from the past and future and see where we're improving. Now, after school, we have a whole range of after school programs. I'm in film club, but my little brother, he's doing robotics club, and he's having fun playing around with his robots. My older sister, maybe she's at JC, she's in grade 12, so she's working on a unit that she's doing as part of her studies. Right, that would be part of her studies. Now, that was a lot of imagining. But here's the thing, at Newman Catholic College, most of those think everything that I've just said is a possibility. In fact, the vast majority of it is a probability. Right? Now, I want to refer you to the QCAA. They did a lot of research. These are the guys who write the Year 11 and 12 curriculum. And they're pretty well funded, so their research is pretty accurate. But they found that leaders in the 21st century need to be innovators, entrepreneurs, lifelong learners, and responsible global citizens. Then they decided, let's break that down into other skills, and we'll embed those skills throughout the curriculum. And those are things like creativity, critical thinking, communication, that sort of thing. Right? Now, yes, students do get the skills, so they can go on to become entrepreneurs and innovators. But at Newman, we want to start encouraging that right from the get-go. And even though it sounds pretty fancy, innovators and entrepreneurs, some of the most successful people in the history of mankind, some of the most successful innovators and entrepreneurs, weren't very academically talented. Right? So it's just another base set of skills that will help grow the students. The World Economic Forum, published just a couple of days ago some of the skills that they expect to see in 2025 based on the jobs that are coming through. So there are a fair mix of problem solving and skill management and personal skills, that sort of thing, all of which are part of the foundational philosophy of Newman Catholic College. So we know that students are changing, we know that jobs are changing, we know that society is changing, so we'd like schools to change, and we hope that Newman Catholic College will be an evolution in that process. Thank you.
Thanks, Wilbur. I don't know what you think, but it certainly is very different to the education that I experienced. Finally, a few practicalities. As I indicated, enrolments are open and applications are being taken for Year 7 in 2022 and Years 7 and 8 for 2023. To apply, we ask you to go to the Newman website and follow the link on our homepage. We do have some time for questions, and we have a couple of roving mics, so if there are any questions in general that you would like to ask, please feel free to throw your hand up. We'll ask your question And there are a number of people here who hopefully will be able to assist me in answering those questions.